Let's see here if this works.
Hey, hi.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Great, great. How about you?
Pretty good, man. All right. So,
Yeah,
what time is it where you are, by the way?
I'm not here. I'm not able to hear you properly. Could you please raise your voice a bit?
Yeah. What time is it where you are right now?
It's about 2 in the evening.
Okay, nice. Yeah, we're almost up. We're almost about 12 hours off from each other. So, yeah, I think 12 hours. Anyway.
Oh, tell me about your position. What position do you hold
Sure.
about the universe, the origin of the universe, and everything else?
I will tell you my background, and then I'll get to that in a second. But I want to hear yours as well. But with me, I grew up in a Catholic family. You know, we were always Catholic growing up. And then when all the molestation cases came up, my parents switched us we converted to Christianity, which is basically the same fucking thing. And it was weird because every year we were taught the same thing, and we weren't allowed to ask questions because we were always told, if you're asking questions, you automatically don't believe in God. So like, it was just like a cop out kind of. They were able just to say whatever they wanted.
Okay, were the priests who were suggesting you such things, or it was just your family who were not allowing you to question things?
Well, so no, it was the church. My family was like religious, but
Okay.
not overly religious. But the church, as soon as you asked questions, it was like zero. Like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
And I got upset because as a kid growing up, I always got along with the adults better than the kids. You know, my friends' parents, and I don't know. With me though, man, it's like to me, it makes no sense that we've never seen any evidence of a God, but people believe it blindly. Now that's also the same. You can have the same conversation or the same argument against evolution, but we have things here like that match. Our DNA matches almost everything on Earth to a certain degree. I mean, so it's
fine. Yeah.
I don't know. It's credible in my opinion. Now, I could be proven wrong one day. I mean, who knows? But in our current position on how we believe in the world, I don't think, what information we have now, I don't think a God's possible. I mean, I can't see someone living in the sky who gets so bored he creates people that look just like him or in his image, and then decides to give cancer. You know, let little kids that are dying of starvation, stuff like that. You know, I don't want to praise something that I don't know exists, and then if it does exist, it's it's shitty.
Why? Is it that even if God exists, you will still not accept it?
Exactly.
Are you holding that position? I mean, yeah.
So
you are more of a mesotheist than an atheist, yeah?
I'm sorry. What'd you say? Sorry.
You are more of a mesotheist than an atheist because you're saying that even if something exists, I would still not believe it.
I'd believe it, but I wouldn't follow it. I would never follow a God that lets children die of starvation. I mean, or lets children get raped. I mean, these kind of things, man. Like, if he has all the power in the world and he's caused massive floods before, why isn't he stepping in when kids are getting injured? You know, he's not. Everybody praises God for helping them find their car keys, and they're praising God for the fact that their kids didn't get shot in a school shooting. But when it comes down to it, like when it comes down to, you know, actual bad things happening, they automatically have someone to blame. It's either somebody else's fault or it's the devil. Religious people, it's always the devil. Everything's the devil.
Are you not trying to say that, you know, because I assume a certain thing, therefore it has to be that way? If you know, you're actually making this argument, saying that, okay, I think these things are happening incorrect, therefore God has to change his position, right?
No.
But it can be other way around. It can be other way around. So it can be I as a theist believe. Hold on. Let me clarify my point here. I believe God. Okay, yeah. I believe God doesn't only have power, but he also has wisdom. I believe he's all wise. Therefore, if you accept this as a premise, and all wise being exists, then everything just falls apart.
Okay, so tell me this: if a God came to you, or if you heard a noise, or you saw an angel, and they said, "Kill your only child,"
I don't believe in that kind of a God. I don't believe in that kind of a God.
Well, just for the sake of argument, if someone came down to you and said, "Hey, kill your son for me to show your devotion," would you do that? Would you honestly do that?
What do you mean?
If a God came into
What?
existence,
I mean, if something appeared to me clearly,
yes,
yes, I would not. No, yes, I would accept that because I would not have any sort of doubt in my mind. Then if it does not exist. Today, I'm in a position of believing something, right? Then it would become something like proof or something like that, right? It's now empirical or whatever you call it, right? It doesn't be it will not be a belief then. It will be a proof completely 100%.
Sure.
Yes.
That's not a problem. But what I'm saying is personally, you yourself, if an all-knowing being came down and said and proved to you, "Hey, I'm real," if you saw it, and he pointed right at you and said, "I want you to kill your child," would you do it? Honestly.
Will I do it?
Yeah, would you do it? Simply.
I would ask for the reason.
What if he didn't have a reason? What if he said, "Show your devotion to me"? What if he said something
then
like...
I would doubt that if he's a god or not.
Well, what if he's doing magical things? What if he comes down from the heavens, for instance, and comes right to you and says, "Kill your children"?
Magic. Yeah. I would ask for the reason why.
What if they don't want...
Because I would ask him, why did you...
He doesn't need a reason.
Then I would not believe him to be a god. Then I would not believe him to be a god. That's the point.
So essentially, because he wants you to do something bad and there's not a good reason for it, you wouldn't believe him, right?
I would ask. I would question and ask that why do you want me to kill my babies when you create them? When you create us for a purpose, why do you want? Then why did you even create us, right? Then if you give me good reasons, like very very wise reasons, then I would not be having any reason not to kill my babies. Yeah.
I believe it was Abraham who brought his son up to the mountain to sacrifice him to God because God requested it, right? I think it was Abraham. Mm-hmm. And yes, he almost went through with it. God just said, "I want to see your devotion," and he almost went through with it.
Because it was clear. Because it was clear to him God does exist. Because we believe prophets had a personal connection with God, right? God communicated with the prophet, so it was clear to him he exists. Mm-hmm. So he intrinsically knew that whatever God chose for me, it has to be a wise decision, right? Therefore, he went through it. And at the end, what happened? God didn't want his children to be killed, correct?
Yeah. No, well, no. I mean, you see, this is the thing: is you sit here and defend stuff like this, but then you read the books that you believe in, like the Torah. I mean, if you read that book, it says in there like he killed Egyptian children simply because they had the
I don't believe in Torah. Anyways, I don't believe that Torah is the way it was revealed to Moses, right? I believe it's a fabricated book. People have come up, written their own things in it. Therefore, I don't believe that it is directly from God, yeah?
Well, nothing's directly from God.
I believe in the Torah. I believe in the Torah, which was sent down to Moses, but I do not believe that the Torah they have right now is the correct and pure book, which was actually revealed to Moses.
So if somebody came to you today and said, "Oh my God, I just saw God, and I promise you, he told me that we have to do this," and let's say it's something simple. Let's say somebody came to you and claimed, "I saw an angel," or "I saw a God," whatever, or "I saw God, he was beautiful." What would you say to have proof of that? What would you tell? Would you just automatically believe it because you also know there's someone of the same faith as you?
No, I will not. I will not believe it. I will not believe it.
But why is that?
I would ask for the reason.
No.
I would ask for the reasons. Why do you think?
Well, no. So let's say the person's 100% convinced that he saw God or something like that. Some miracle happened in front of him, and he's freaking out. He's running down the street trying to tell everybody you know him. He tells you, "I saw God."
I will not believe it. I will not believe it.
But why? But why wouldn't you?
Then
Because
I would at the same time. Then okay, if it happened, hold on. If it happened to somebody, right, who's like me, then I would at the same time question like, why doesn't it happen to me? I would expect same thing to happen with me, right? If it can happen to anybody, then I would expect it would happen to me as well. So I would not believe him unless he would give me some good, verifiable, some very good, reasonable reasons to believe it, right?
Yeah. So with your stance, you're basically telling me that you need some sort of proof, right? You would have to see it with your own eyes in order for it to be true, right? At least that's what I'm getting opinion-wise. Oh, I think your video froze. Hello? Oh, there you are. You're back.
Hey, can you hear me?
You're back. You're good.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you were talking. Go ahead.
If he was able to give me some good reason which I could verify and rationalize, then yeah, I would think about it.
Gotcha. Okay.
But if he would say, if you listen, if you would say that this happened, but I can't prove it to you, or I can't give you any good reasons, then I would not believe
All right,
it.
so how about this? If something happened to that guy personally, and he wrote down in a book that he saw God, and he could write whatever he wants, and somebody finds that book 1,000 years from now, there's no way to verify any of that. You're going based off of something someone said that we have no historical evidence from. Not once was.
I agree with you.
And see, this is the problem: is anybody could write anything on paper. The Torah was written by man. Man is notorious for lying to keep people at bay.
I would agree. So I would agree with you.
So my question is
my belief is that different. I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim. Yeah. So if let's just talk about some philosophy or science first, and then if I can, mix it with my belief so that it would make more sense.
Sure.
Correct?
Sure. Give me one. I'm gonna grab a charger for my phone. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Woo. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm back.
It's okay. Yeah.
So, again, my issue is this: for instance, people used to think way back in the day that when you had seizures, you were visiting God, and you're visiting the gods or a god depending on the religion.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is these people would have to wake up. I've had seizures before. You black out. There's nothing that happens, right? But people that would have seizures, they would lie to people just to get the status. So every time they would come out of a seizure, they would have to make something up on the spot, because it not only gave them power, but it gave them money or whatever they needed, because they were a direct connection to God. They purposely lied to people just so they could be at the top of society. So
I would agree with you. There is no point of disagreement here.
Yeah, but you wanted to get into the science of it. So if you can start with whatever topic you want to talk about on the science portion of it.
Okay, what's your position about the origin of this universe?
So
how did it happen?
I will say 100% I do not know, because I do personally believe the Big Bang is possible, in my opinion. The problem is we don't know where because even if the Big Bang's been exploding, contracting for, trillions of years, we don't know what caused it in the first place. Because, see, the religion's an easy one. It's God created, the universe, but you have to have something in order to make something else. You can't make something out of nothing, right? So where did God come from? He didn't just come from nowhere. If he's able to materialize stuff,
How do you?
he doesn't
Okay,
he doesn't
okay,
just come
okay,
out of
okay.
nowhere.
Here, I would like to know how do you understand the term God? What do you think God is? How do you understand this term?
In my opinion, he from what
Yeah.
I understand, at least my opinion wise, is he's the Almighty. He's the omnipresent, omnipotent. He does everything, can do anything he wants. He can. I mean, if he
No, I don't believe
you
that.
don't believe that, but he created people, right?
No, I don't believe he can do anything. I don't believe he can do anything.
Oh, okay. So what's your belief then?
Meaning everything, like anything and everything. I don't believe, because then I would ask a question that, if God can create a God,
Mm.
if he's able to do everything, therefore he could create a different God, right? So I don't believe God can do anything and everything. I believe that he has the power over everything.
Yeah.
Things that are not godly, he can't do such things. Like, can God lie? If he can do anything and everything, then he can lie. But I don't believe that God lies, correct? Yeah.
Well,
So go on, yeah.
yeah, sure. So another problem I have is, do you believe any of the stories in the Torah, when you whatsoever? Do you believe any of them?
I believe I haven't read it completely, but
Okay.
I know the passage of it. I know the core doctrine of Jewish
Yeah.
religion. I believe that Torah was given to Moses, yeah,
Mm.
but after that, like if you read Jeremiah 8:8,
Mm.
it clearly says that the law which is with us is not pure, right? It is fabricated.
Yeah.
So it is in the Torah. So I don't believe completely
Mm.
that Torah in its full is the word of God
Mm.
present today, but I believe that Moses was given the revelation called Torah. Yeah.
So another question I have for you is, you were born. Where were you born? If you don't mind me asking, which part of the world?
Oh my God, man. If you know anything about Kashmir,
Yeah, I do.
it's between India and Pakistan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly where am I from.
So
Yeah.
my question is your family majority Muslim, or is it just you?
Yes, I was born in a Muslim family, but I had these thoughts, going around in my mind, circulating every time. But
Mm.
I had my own way.
Mm.
I chose my own way.
Yeah.
I did my research. I studied science, philosophy, and everything
Mm.
else, and religions as well. And at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion that there must exist something,
I
because
will say one thing is, you're super level-headed, man. If the only thing I have a problem with in our society is, we're getting past race barriers, we're getting past ethnicity barriers, we're already past all that BS, which I'm happy with. The problem, though, is is essentially, I hate when people bring religion into politics, because it forces a whole group of people.
I would totally agree with
Yeah,
you. There is no point of disagreement here.
yeah.
I would totally agree with you. Now, people use religion for wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, people make it as a political agenda. People do it whatever they like with religion.
Like,
So they're just misplacing or misusing this term called religion. But I don't think it has actually anything to do with religion. Yeah, if you take religion wholly and solely, I don't think it has anything to do with politics or whatever people are committing today. Like, in Muslims, in Muslim communities, there are happening something horrendous, right? Like, like you must be knowing about ISIS.
yeah.
And what's happening in Iraq.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that it is a part of religion. They may be misinterpreting it.
Mm.
They may be misusing it to shoot their political agenda.
Mm.
But I don't think it has actually anything to do with my religion. Yeah.
So in the Quran, I've read passages from it.
Okay, let's just talk about the origin point, so
Okay.
we can build a very good argument
Sure.
and accept one another, agree with one another. Yeah.
Sure.
So I asked you a question. Do you think what we have, like the universe, had a beginning, or you're in a position of I don't know?
If I give you an
Or what do you believe, right? What do you believe? Does it have a beginning? Do you believe it may have had a beginning, or do you believe that it is eternally there?
See, this is the problem, is, to our current understanding as humans, in order to create something, in order to create a house, you have to chop down wood. I mean, you have to use something to make something else. Eventually
Right.
that house will decay because it's wood and, stucco and stuff like that. But I don't know. If I give you any answer besides I don't know, I'm a hypocrite because I'm believing blindly with faith in what other people are saying. In my opinion, the Big Bang's a great theory. It explains why all of our planets are kind of coming apart still. We're still, we're still moving outward. I feel personally that it makes sense that eventually the center of the universe will start pulling everything back together into a singularity. But the problem becomes is where did that singularity come from? Where did that big explosion, if that is what happened, where did that come from? Because you can't create nothing from something, or something from nothing. I apologize.
Yeah, okay. I understand. So, what if I make a claim that the universe is finite?
That's a good claim. The problem though is, as much as we can test that the universe goes on for as far as we can see.
No, I have got reasons to believe that. I've got reasons to believe that. I can substantiate that rationally.
Yeah, sure.
Like, for example, we do not have anything physical that's infinite in nature in the universe, right? We do not have actual quantifiable infinite existing within the universe.
Okay.
So on behalf of that, I made a claim that the universe is actually physical infinite. Therefore, it can't be infinite. Is a physical thing, yeah? Is a physical quantity. Therefore, we can't have actual physical infinite existing in the universe.
And see, that's the thing.
So therefore, the universe is finite.
I have to agree with you. I mean, there's no way that there's an infinite amount of stuff floating around in space. There's no way whatsoever.
Absolutely.
So this is the question that gets a lot of atheist blood boiling, is because we don't know, and we can make even.
I don't think it has anything to do with science, because even if something existed before the Big Bang, we would still not be able to know that empirically, right?
Exactly.
So it will always be a hypothesis or whatever else, right?
Exactly.
That's the reason I'm here using my logic.
Yeah.
That's the reason I believe that, that the universe must be finite, because I can't prove that scientifically. Science can't be able to know that empirically. Therefore, using my logic, seeing the infinite, non-existent of infinite in the universe, therefore, and I am making this premise up, saying that the universe must be finite then.
I have to agree with you, as there's a limited number of resources. My question boils down to, my answer comes down to, I don't think as humans we will ever know, religious or not, or theist or atheist, we will never know. So as people, we try and make our best assumptions because we like to know things.
I personally think that we are making a category mistake. We are giving science more weight than it has, right? I believe science is a fantastic method, which has helped us in knowing about the physical universe a lot, but it has limitations. Like, science can only focus on physical things. Things that are not physics, that are not physical. Science does not have realm to even go inside and examine it. As I have earlier mentioned in my previous videos, like the existence of metaphysics. Science can talk about physics, not metaphysics. It's always this logic, which is going to play its part. That's the reason I believe that we are just giving more credibility to science.
See, the thing,
I personally am a scientific guy.
See, a few thousand years ago, metaphysics would have been the reason why apples fall from trees. I mean, metaphysics just means we don't understand how it works yet. I mean, it's kind of a cop-out term, in my opinion, because if you're saying
but we use it as a presuppositions to in fact do science. Science starts with metaphysics. Like, we have to assume that we have a rational faculty.
Yeah.
What do you require to do science first? You need to have reason and space, right? So, if you do not have reasons, or you're not able to trust your reasons, how on earth can you do science? Therefore, it's a prior belief. It's a priori belief, right? Which intrinsically, even not having the physical evidence of it, we still believe that we can make rational choices. That's metaphysics.
Yeah.
It has no physical explanation.
There's other metaphysics, man, that people bring up all the time that are already answered. For instance, people always say, you know, where did love come from? Love's something you can't see, but you can feel it. I hear that bullshit all the time. Another one is also like, you know, where do our consciousness come from? If, you know, everything's physical, where's our consciousness? And, you know, I hear these all the time, and I kind of shake my head, because it's like, why do people bring up things that have answers already? It's just people don't read about them. They're ignorant.
Okay. Okay, I would like to hear your answer for consciousness. What do you think? Where does it come from? We're just going around and you know, here and there, but I would like to hear it from you.
So I believe that personally, we have developed, when basically, how do I put this? I dissected cats in high school for biology. All right, when the cats had been dead for, I mean, almost, you know, 3 or 4 days from a shelter that, you know, a kill shelter, whatever you want to call it, and they were donated to us. Our teacher showed us that if you hook up 2 little wires to its ears, and you turn on the electricity a little bit, its eyes blinked randomly. It was crazy. It was creepy. I mean, this cat was cut open and its eyes were blinking, right? So that showed me, you know, the whole Frankenstein monster thing. That thing is a little over the top, but it showed me that it's definitely electrical signals that are being put from place to place. I mean, that's how our body works. It's all through electricity. If I was to get a lobotomy, for instance, I would no longer be me, because they've scrambled my brain. I would not be me. I would be an empty shell, or I'd be someone completely different. For instance, I was in the hospital after my heart transplant, and I was laying there for about 3 days, and I had no idea. To me,
I saw these pictures. Yeah, though. I saw it. I was about to ask you, you know.
Yeah. Well, what happened
about these?
What happened is that the crap. What's the word? I was out for 3 days, and I was awake for those days, but I don't remember any of it. It was almost like I was on autopilot. There was somebody else in control of me. I was breathing really heavy. I mean, I woke up and my hands were tied to the bed because I was trying to hurt the nurses. You know, it was weird, because when I came out of it, everyone was afraid of me. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, why am I tied down? And they asked me what the date is and what time it is and where I'm at and stuff like that. And then they took the handcuffs off me finally, which was nice. But it was weird, man, because our consciousness, I believe, comes from, just to get back to your point, our consciousness comes from our learned experiences, and also from, you know, just generic things. I mean, an autistic person's consciousness might be different than ours. Now, consciousness in general just means we can understand things. We understand that we are something. We are alive. I don't believe animals have the same
self-awareness.
Yeah, I don't, you know, when they say that when a baby can recognize itself in a mirror, they say that's when the first memories start to show, and or start to be remembered. When they can physically tell, like, oh, that's me. If you put paint on their nose, and they recognize that that's them, they touch their own nose in the image, then they know that that's them. That's usually when they say memories start to form. But we weren't born with a consciousness properly, or like a self-awareness, because we're on autopilot for like the first year or so.
Are you saying we were not born? Are you saying we were not born?
No. We're born, but what we're born with is the basics. We're not born with a consciousness where we know where we are. I mean, do you remember when you were 1 or 2 years old? Do you remember any of that?
No.
And the reason being is we did not have a full consciousness yet. Our brain was still developing. It's because if we were born and from the second we popped out, we had a memory of everything, I'd say definitely, even if you had memories of being in the womb, that would be proof right there that.
But the point here, I think the point here is about the experience we have. It's called, you know, if you read philosophy of mind, it's called like phenomenal experience. Like we are aware of our own awareness, right? Like, for example, if I'm eating something, you know, if I have these neurotransmitters, I have these, you know, scientific, these, whatever they call it, like X-rays and everything else. If I have these, scientists would be able to know that, you know, whether I'm feeling good, I am feeling bad, or I'm feeling tasty, or whatever, right? But they can never be able to know that what it is like for me to be in that state of conscious. That's called hard problem of consciousness in philosophy of mind. And we have immense amount of material written by these philosophers of mind, neuroscientists, and they are still struggling to find the answer of this thing called hard problem. They're saying that, okay, if everything was just matter in the very beginning, then how can we have this conscious experience? Does the matter have it? No. We know matter, electron has no consciousness, right?
Correct.
But we know we are self-aware. And the second question is, why does the conscious experience arise from these physical processes, right? So it's still a debate going on. And then there is a professor called Professor David Chalmers. I think he is from the University of Chicago. And he raises this point again and again, saying, in fact, he said that, we do not have any material explanation for consciousness. Therefore, we have to find out something metaphysical explanation, because it's something personal. It's something personal. I can't be able to detect what do you feel like right now, right? You're talking to me. We have a conscious experience within ourselves.
Well, that's not,
scientists would never be able to know that.
That's not entirely true, because if you even without speech, if you gave me something to eat and I didn't like it, if my brain lit up and I spit it out at the same time, that would tell you that I didn't like it. I mean, that's exactly how I was feeling.
But yes, I agree. But you can't be able to express how was it like for you to be in that state when you ate this, right? You may say, oh, it was not good. It was not good. It was not sweet. It was this and that, right? But you can't be able to express what was it like to be in that state of consciousness, right?
Yeah. So our brains don't give.
There was a professor, if you know about him. There was a professor in Dan Dennett. Do you know anything about him?
No.
He was a completely eliminative materialist. He was completely dogmatic, I would say. Militant materialist.
Yeah.
And he gave this definition of this thing called eliminative materialism, but he had a great criticism going around. People took him as like, and asked him, and told him, you are trying to evade the question. You're trying to deny the reality. You're trying to deny a reality which exists within human beings. We know that we are aware. So that this is just an illusion. This is just the neurochemical patterns going on in the brain and nothing like, self-awareness. So there was a great debate going on about this.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. Let's go back to the.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Let's go back to the origination of the universe point, because I would like to discuss that. And this thing we can discuss some other day, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Go.
Because.
Go ahead with whatever your argument is. Go ahead and start for me.
Yeah. So as I earlier said, I believe the universe is finite.
Yeah.
And okay, let me make an argument here, right? Let me see if you can break down the premises. I believe the universe is finite. Premise one, right? Finite things could come from nothing, create itself, create by something else created, or be created by something uncreated, right? Premise two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Premise three. Finite things cannot come from nothing, create itself, can be created by something else created. Therefore, the universe is created by something uncreated.
So then see, this is the problem though, is the argument falls apart when it comes to religion, especially. And I believe that it's finite as well.
I'm not talking about religion.
Yeah, well,
let's keep the religion aside.
All right.
This is the argument from deduction, right? I've studied philosophy, right?
Yeah.
I've studied philosophy, so I'm not trying to support my case from religion. I'm talking completely on philosophical grounds, rational grounds.
So my opinion is that there's finite resources in the universe. My problem is I don't believe that the universe itself is finite, because we've never seen an edge. Imagine there's an edge to the universe. What would you imagine that the edge of that would be? What could you, philosophy-wise, believe is after that? because I can't fathom that. I can't imagine what's after that, because what's after that blows my mind. There's nothing in my mind that makes sense. So the only thing in my current mind is that it just keeps going. I don't have any evidence for that, but in my mind, it's the easier choice, at least, and to me.
How is it? I think it begs more question than it answers, because if you go by infinity, then you have massive amount of problems. Like, with infinity, anything could happen, anything is possible, which I don't think is the case with us in the universe. Because if I'm the subscriber of infinity, then this conversation which we're having right now may have happened in the past on Mars.
Sorry, your video froze. If you're there. Hello? Hello? No? No answer? There you are.